The pressure is massive, but that's where the best players in the world come to the fore. Now, when Lionel Messi takes onto the pitch against Nigeria today, he'll have one single-minded focus in his mind, just to get his country over the line. Because, shall he fail to do so, Argentina actually face the prospect of going out of the FIFA World Cup. Now, how many of us thought that people would be saying that at the start of the group stages before the World Cup started? It's a reality now. It's a reality that they must seek to avoid in today's Group D action in the FIFA World Cup. Good afternoon, guys. I'm Suyash and I'm going to be taking you through Group D and all the scenarios today and how things are going to pan out between Nigeria, Argentina, Croatia and Iceland. I'm going to tell you the table first. Croatia sit on top with 6 points. They've won both their games so far. Most famously, their win against Argentina was the stuff of legend. It's going to go down in Football World Cup history because of the way they played and because of the way they counter-attacked Argentina. Nothing like that the world had ever seen before. Luka Modric further cementing his position as one of the most underrated midfielders in world football, and rightly so, because of the way he played, because of that long-range goal that he scored against Argentina was simply mind-blowing. Nigeria sit second on 3 points and they won against Iceland in their last game. Ahmed Musa scoring some brilliant goals and he'll want to continue his form into the game against Nigeria. I beg your pardon, in the game against Argentina, because the last 2 times he played against Argentina, remember, he scored 2 goals. That also happened in the last edition of the World Cup, and Nigeria and Argentina have some interesting history going into this game ahead of the World Cup. In fact, the last time Nigeria played in the last 3 World Cups, Argentina has always been an opponent in their group stages. Now, call that coincidence or call that whatever, it is a bit freaky if we look at it. But if it means anything, it means that this Nigeria team has had the experience of playing Argentina before. Most importantly, they've had the experience of playing Messi before. And you know, us analysts sometimes sort of get into a little bubbles. We tend to think about only 1 or 2 players ahead of the game. What we must realize that Argentina are a unit and are a team. And the fact that Messi hasn't been able to perform well enough is irrelevant to the fact that the team as a whole has not been able to perform well either. Messi is expected to take his team to glory, to greater heights, but he needs to perform better on the international stage to make sure that Argentina make it through to the next round. However, a victory for them against Nigeria, I beg your pardon, doesn't guarantee anything from them, because sitting on 3rd spot is Iceland with 1 point and sitting last is Argentina with 1 point. Iceland actually have a better goal difference than Argentina right now. So that means if Iceland either draw or win against Croatia and Argentina don't have a similar result, if Argentina have a lesser result than Iceland today, then Iceland might actually go through. It means that in this group today, Nigeria, Iceland, Argentina, like I said, all 3 of them still within the possibility of making it through to the last 16, and it's a tantalizing prospect, especially after the heroics that Iran and Morocco produced yesterday. Wow! Now, we spoke about this on the group before. We spoke about this in yesterday's preview about how the World Cup can pose a very, very big, surprise yesterday for Iran and Morocco, and Iran almost pulled off such a big upset against Portugal when they equalized through a late penalty. And it was going down to the wire. In fact, they almost equalized and they almost won the game in the end. But cruel is the game of football, and cruel was the game of football to Iran, who was so heroic in their efforts, led by a Portuguese coach even. And it would have been quite poetic if a Portuguese coach knocked out Portugal out of the tournament. I really hope for one that Carlos Queiroz decides to remain as manager of Iran, because he's brought so much joy to them. He's brought so much joy and technical know-how to Asian football that Asian football as a whole can do with the technical know-how of someone like Carlos Queiroz. On the other hand, Morocco took the lead against Spain. They were winning 2-1 against them for the longest time, till when a certain Iago Aspas popped up. If for Premier League watchers and Liverpool fans, you might remember that Iago Aspas didn't have the greatest time playing for Liverpool, but he's gone back to the La Liga, to his boyhood club Celta Vigo, and he's done so well for them that he's earned a place in the Spanish national squad, and that's what hard work does, and that's where hard work gets you. Nigeria have a few good players, so do Iceland, and I'm going to focus on Nigeria and Iceland now, because the fact about both the teams is that both of them have produced some really fairy tale moments in this tournament. Now, Ahmed Musa's 2 goals in the last game against Iceland kept their hopes alive in the World Cup. And Iceland in the first game, heroics against Argentina again. No one expected them to draw against Argentina, but they did exactly that. They're the smallest nation to ever qualify for a FIFA World Cup, for God's sake. And Beg your pardon for that interruption, guys. I'm going to get back to the live video now. Some technical difficulties in the middle. But yes, the fact remains that Iceland has been the smallest country to qualify for the FIFA World Cup. And it can only mean good for the Football Federation and for things going forward. If they qualify, it'll be mayhem. And whether they qualify remains to be seen. Now, Anirudh has a question. He's saying, Argentina hasn't won a single match as yet. How do you believe that would affect the result? It would affect the result in a very simple way, Anirudh, because Argentina have a single-minded focus now. They know that nothing less than a win is going to get them through to the World Cup, and they can't risk anything less than a win. Having said this, the mentality changes. Again, beg your pardon for that. I'm going to pick up from the last point where I left off now, where the whole frame of mind changes, and the fact that Argentina just have to attack, they don't have anything else or any other agendas to take care of, will and might simplify it a lot more for the likes of Messi and their whole attack. But Nigeria have a strong defense. They have a defense that's prone to errors. We must take this into account. So if the Nigerian forward line presses Argentina, I beg your pardon, and if the Argentinian forward line presses Nigeria, we could be in for a game with a lot of goals. Personally, I think this is going to be a World Cup classic. I think this game is going to provide everything that we've been looking forward to so far in the World Cup. I think this game is going to have all the elements of drama. VAR has been such a contentious point in the World Cup so far. I, for one, am totally for it, because VAR at least gives you the fair result in the end. Even though last night I think the penalty that was avoided late to Iran was not a penalty, but that's up to the referee's discretion now. It's not VAR's fault that the referees looking at the replay and then making a decision that's not exactly in line with the decision he should be making. Having said that, now I'm going to read out a few facts between Argentina and Nigeria. Now, 4 of the 8 games between Nigeria and Argentina have come at World Cup finals, and Argentina has won all 4 matches. Nigeria have faced Argentina in the group stages of their last 3 World Cups in 2002, 2010 and 2014, and of course 2006 was when they failed to qualify. Who knows that if they had qualified, for all you know, they would have gotten Argentina in the group again. And their most recent encounter with Argentina, now this is the most interesting thing, the most recent encounter was in November 2017, where Nigeria actually went on to beat Argentina 4-2, and Alex Iwobi scored a couple of goals on that day. Nigeria has banked upon the likes of Alex Iwobi and their other naturalized players to sort of further them and inject real quality into the national team, because Nigeria doesn't have a very strong local league now, we must remember, and Nigeria imports these players, of course produces players of their own, but they're all plying their trade in various different leagues of the world. So that's the model that Nigeria adopts, and whether that'll come good in the end or not is yet to be seen, because it means that they have the experience of playing with better players, they have the experience of playing with more technically adept players in the end. But is that what's going to take them over the line today? I've explained the scenarios. Now let's just look forward to the action in Group D today in the World Cup. Till tomorrow, it's goodbye from me. See you in another preview for tomorrow's game. Till then, bye bye.